Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to another exciting round of the Racing for Children's IndyCar Series here at the Road America 160 presented by RaceMars.com. If you're looking for a good NASCAR Oval League to join on a Monday night, check them out, RaceMars.com. As always, I'm your host, James East, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, bringing the action 1080p 60 frames a second as we are here. Curing cancer and blood diseases. The Racing for Children's IndyCar Series is not just an iRacing league, also a racing group to help raise awareness and funding to cure childhood cancer and blood disorders. Thank you all so much for those tuning in, supporting the broadcast, supporting your favorite drivers. As let's run through the grid as they're taking a long way around Road America, the 4-mile racetrack. Starting on pole, Paul Gibson, the Doctor. Colin Weatherholt starts second. Nick Hill, Cop Car, starts third. David Shutt starting fourth. Matt Brewer starting fifth. Chris Shieldsmith starts sixth. Jared Ziegler starting seventh. Peter Renger starts eighth. John Kasai starts ninth. Nick Terrell starting 10th. Gareth Mcallister, the world-famous Australian, starting 11th. Alex Penn starts 12th. Cycling it back one more time, Clinton Wiggins starting 13th. Casey Carrington starts 14th. And Norman King will round out the 15-car grid here today. 40 laps on the schedule. And again, a very long time to pace about here at Road America, over 4 miles in length. And we're interested to see what the lap times do. And it looks like Weatherholt and Gibson both on the soft compound tires starting up front. It'll be interesting to see how that one pans out. Now, interesting, I don't think Carrington made it to the grid on time in that 03 machine. Not quite sure what's going on there. He may be starting from pit road behind the rest of the field as our safety car continues to lead this massive pack of drivers around. Just a couple short sections to go, and then we're going to lead up the hill here at Road America. Well, I say short sections, they head around the kink. They've still got, that's going to be about 3/10 of the track left to go here. First time I've had the pleasure of watching Indy cars at this circuit, so it's going to be interesting to see how this one pans out for the drivers. A lot of good drafting opportunities to try and make some moves here. Now coming into tonight here at Road America, Paul Gibson still your points leader, about 15 points ahead of Colin Weatherholt. Jared Ziegler sits in third, Nick Terrell fourth, John Kasai will be fifth in points. Last week we were at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Definitely differing tracks as the iRacing safety car makes its way down pit road. And we get ready to hear the whine of the Indy cars as the green flag is out. And we are underway. Gibson holds on to the lead. Weatherholt trying to catch the draft in that green and white number 12 machine. Takes a peek at the inside line, going into one, not having any luck there. As it looks like we're going to get through turn one nice and easy for the gents. It's Gibson, Weatherholt, Cop Car, Shutt, Brewer holding on to those top 5 positions as we've got somebody off track. That's Nick Terrell in the 81 machine. Looks like he narrowly kept it off the barrier there. And we did get a report that Carrington returning to the racetrack as Weatherholt with a gutsy move for the lead pushes too far wide. Giving it back to Paul Gibson. Now Cop Car right in the mix of that number 4 machine. All top 3 drivers on the red soft compounds. In a high-speed game of snake, if we look, that's Matt Brewer, the number 2 machine. He's right behind Schutz. Purple and yellow, number 24. The top 3 drivers, Gibson, Weatherholt, Cop Car, about 6/10 ahead of that second pack. We've got more drivers kicking off dirt. Everybody trying to be mindful of the track limits here. And here's one of those good drafting opportunities we were talking about. Shutt not quite able to catch too much up to Cop Car. John Kasai with an off-track excursion. I believe that's Canada Corner. We're seeing the number 3 machine off. Staying off track as long as he can. As look at this, Paul Gibson. A little bit of a breakaway from Colin Weatherholt. Everybody's first lap, usually about, looks like they're all in the 1:47-second mark. I'm interested to see what we can do under a flying green flag run here. Once these Indy cars have wicked it up to full pace. I see another battle going on right there. It looks like it's Chris Shieldsmith catching back up to Matt Brewer's number 10. Now, as it stands, everybody inside the top 8 has neither gained nor lost any positions here. I thought the draft was going to play a little bit more of a role here, charging down the hill. Doesn't seem like that's quite the case as we check back in. Weatherholt still in second, trying to track down Paul Gibson. Gibson pulling a quick half-second advantage over the rest of the field. Cop Car right there as well, the number 4 machine in pursuit of that second-place driver, Weatherholt. And you can see about the top 6 drivers pretty well bunched up here. They've pulled about a 1.5-second advantage over 7th-place Jared Ziegler, because from 7th place back, the field very stretched out. Gibson still leading the field here, that number 31. Gonna be interested to see what's his lap time gonna look like as he sits out front fully up to pace. Charging up the hill down the start-finish line straight. Hitting speeds of just about 200 miles an hour here at Road America. And he clicks off a 145.44, a 10th faster than either Weatherholt or Cop Car. Guys, let's pan a little bit further back, checking in on Peter Redinger in 8. Looks like Redinger trying to close the gap to Jared Ziegler in 7th, but we've got something going on a little bit further ahead. I think that may have been David Shutt in P4, that number 24. He's had a lot of blinking issues so far this season, so hopefully he gets that corrected, as it triggered actually a patch report. And more racing going on. Looks like John Kasai making his way back around Clinton Wiggins' number 26 machine. Now Kasai had that off-track excursion on lap 1 and trying to put his head down and see if he can overcome a little bit here. Back up front, we do have a battle for second going on. Cop Car has closed the gap to Weatherholt to less than 0.2 of a second, as Gibson has extended his dominant lead to 1.5 seconds over the rest of the field. Looks like Cop Car tried to get set up there against Weatherholt, not able to make any big lunges. Looked like he narrowly avoided dipping the tires into the grass. That has allowed Weatherholt to pull an advantage back to about a half second. Cop Car trying to do everything he can to stay in the draft of that number 12. As David Shutt hanging on by about a second back. Gonna be interesting to see, can David Shutt maybe close back up to the top 3 drivers, fight his way into podium contention? Looks like he gained just a little bit of a time there. That was David Shutt's fastest lap of the race on 146.15. He was about anywhere between a half second to 6/10 ahead of anybody ahead of him. Weatherholt continues the charge out front. We got 2 relatively close battles out on track. The battle for second between Colin Weatherholt and Nick Hill Cop Car. And the battle for 7th, as it looks like we're seeing a report. Oh no! What happened to Weatherholt? He's off track into the wall. We just caught it there at the tail end of the camera. Weatherholt is going to drop all the way back to 8th, your second place points runner. Trying to rejoin the track surface, but it looks like that number 12 machine dancing around. He may have a bit of suspension damage. And just like that, Shutt is going to take over the 3rd place position. And Weatherholt has 2 drivers in hot pursuit. That's Norman King, John Kasai, right behind the 10th place driver, the now 10th place driver of Weatherholt, who is having such a good run. One little mistake, though, sends him off track. It looks like King checks up slightly there to avoid pushing wide as well in the mustard seat back number 28 machine. And Colin Weatherholt is going to dive down pit road, try and get some quick repairs done on the number 12 machine. See if he can rejoin the circuit, but all that hard work is going to be undone. As we go back up to 4th place, that is Matt Brewer on camera right now. He's got Chris Shieldsmith breathing down his neck by about 0.4 of a second. A little bit further back, that's Jared Ziegler and Peter Rettinger flying in formation. Looked like Shieldsmith gained good time down the hill, but nowhere really to go with that run. As it appears, yes, we get a report back from pit road. Colin Weatherholt in and out of his stall in 8.5 seconds using that lone fast repair. And it's all going to be about point savings here. Paul Gibson, your race leader, is the points leader. He came into tonight Road America 15 points ahead of Weatherholt after Mid-Ohio just last week. We talked to some of the drivers before the broadcast, and they were letting us know this could very well end up being a fuel mileage race and a tire management race. Going to be interesting to see is everybody inside the top 5, I believe, is on the red compound sticky rubber underneath them. And Shieldsmith doing everything in his power to try and close that gap to Brewer. Brewer extends it, gaining a few tenths there. Coming out of the start-finish line, such an important final corner. Because 5 to 10 miles per hour can be the difference as you charge down the straight. We're going to check back in on race leader Paul Gibson. He has pulled a healthy 1.3 second advantage over the rest of the field. You can see Cop Car charging down the hill, and we just barely saw Shutt's number 24 machine. There we go, a good shot of Shutt in the purple and yellow. That kind of inheriting a podium position after Weatherholt's misfortune. Shutt running a limited season so far. But out of the 5 races he's been in so far, he did pick up a win, so while most likely probably not in the points championship, as this is round 9 of 13. He's still out here trying to represent himself well, see if he can get some team points. And as always, raise some money for a fantastic charity at the Racing for Children's Foundation. Optimistic we may have a 3-car battle shaping up for 4th. Matt Brewer, Chris Shieldsmith, and now Jared Ziegler, who is slowly catching up to the drivers in front of him. Ziegler ran almost a half-second faster than Brewer or Shieldsmith the last time by. So keep an eye out, that 57 machine trying to catch the draft of Shieldsmith. If you can make that happen, you may very well have a 3-car shootout for that 4th place spot. Ziegler closing the gap to about 3/4 of a second behind Shieldsmith. Shieldsmith about a half-second off Matt Brewer. And it looks like for the first time in a while, Cop Car closing the gap to Paul Gibson. The race leader Gibson, who did have almost a 2-second advantage, has had it whittled down to 1 second. And here we go, the battle for 4th is underway. A big lunge by Shieldsmith. Not able to make it happen against Brewer, but now Jared Ziegler squarely in the mix here. This is going to be a good one. Brewer, Shieldsmith, Ziegler, 4th, 5th, and 6th are about 7.3 seconds back from Shutt in 3rd. So if these guys start battling each other too heavily, that's going to allow Shutt and the rest of the top 3 to stretch their legs even further here. Oh, I was about to say maybe these drivers are going to work together, but Ziegler with a big lunge up the inside line. Shieldsmith gets spooked. He's going to fall back to 6th. Ziegler's going to make it his 2nd position gain so far, the number 57. But that quickly, Matt Brewer pulls a 1.4-second gap over the now 5th place driver, Ziegler. Ziegler already pulling a 2nd over Shieldsmith. Back up front, Paul Gibson has company as well. The top 3, Gibson, Cop Car, Shutt, separated by less than 1.1 seconds, just about a second separating the top 3 here. Yes, there we go. A second between our top 3 drivers. The draft really coming into play. And we do have a crash report. Peter Renger is off track in the number 44 machine. Let's take a look, see what happened to him. So we check in on Renger, the number 44 machine. Diving down the hill here at Road America. Where are things going to go wrong? And oh, there it is, locking up the fronts. Trying to get that number 44 machine slowed down. Looks like, thankfully, though, able to keep it off the wall, not having any issues, and he's going to rejoin the surface after a brief... Ooh, that cannot be good for the underbelly, but he is going to rejoin the track surface here, and he will get back into it as we go back live to your race leaders. Gibson going to hold on to it, but he's got company from behind. There's Cop Car, there's Shutt, and Hot Pursuit. Gibson, who held a 2-second advantage at one point, has seen it whittle down to just a half-second. As Cop Car trying to close the gap here. We go on board with David Shutt's number 24 machine. Oh, as we do a massive lunge up the inside line. Not able to make anything from it, but what a gutsy move out of number 24. Keeping the pressure on Cop Car, but he's got to be careful. If Paul Gibson gets out in no man's land up front, if these 2 second and third place drivers lose the draft, Gibson may be able to build up that advantage once more. My, oh my, what a massive lunge from Shutt. He wants that second win of the season, and he wants Cop Car, and he wants Gibson to know that he's right there in it. Shutt still battling those connection issues. Cop Car trying to stay in the draft of Gibson, who was given about 0.4 of a second there as Cop Car and Shutt both backed off the pace, throwing haymakers at each other. And you can see Shutt struggling with that connection error. Thankfully, a little bit of breathing room between the 4 and the 24, so that blinking not going to interfere with the pacing of the run. But look at that, here comes Shutt once more. Right on the gearbox of Cop Car. Now Shutt is on the harder compound tires, the all blacks on that number 24 machine. You can see Gibson and Cop Car running the softs. I wonder, is Shutt's tires starting to really come to life as maybe Gibson and Cop Car falling off ever so slightly? And Shutt refuses to yield. Another lunge up the inside line. This time he's going to have it. Moving up into second. Edging Cop Car back into third. But while this has been going on, Gibson's checking out. 1.1 seconds built back up in the advantage of the number 31. Got another three-car battle. Look, that's Alex Penn, Gareth Mcallister side by side behind Peter Renger, the Austrian. Mcallister has worked up to 8th. Alex Penn, right on camera, loops it and has to park to wait for the field to make it correct. Oh, we've got more action going on. Gareth Mcallister's picked up a spot from Peter Renger. The Australian versus the Austrian. Mcallister's up 4 spots, but we've also got a hard charger. Oh, before I say that, look at this. Matt Brewer, Jared Ziegler. Great racing all across the surface here. Brewer ahead by about 0.05 of a second, charging down the hill. Ziegler will be on the outside, a bit of a lockup at the front left from Brewer. Ziegler carries a little bit more speed, taking back over the 4th place position. That's Shieldsmith, number 22 machine, who we saw just out of frame, trying to close the gap. Oh, Brewer cutting a little bit of grass here at Road America. Pushes wide. That'll give Ziegler about a 1.1 second advantage as they round the carousel. And now it looks like David Shutt has once again closed the gap to Paul Gibson. You would think these drivers know it's 40 laps here at Road America, but they are going at it only 10 laps in. Shutt squarely in the draft, takes a peek to the inside line, going into 1. But look how much corner speed Gibson carries through turn 1, shutting the door off of David Shutt's 24. Peter Renger, oh my goodness, that was Shutt with a massive moment. Trying to put the power down, but almost careens off track. I'd say he was squarely off track. And that's going to put Cop Car back in it. Now out of Gibson, Shutt, and Cop Car, your top 3 drivers, only David Shutt, that purple and yellow, is on the harder compound. And that could very well be while he's really closing the advantage. Cop Car goes off track once more. That's going to allow your top 2 drivers now, Gibson and Shutt, to have a 3-second breakaway. I do wonder, is this tire fall off we're seeing? Renger getting back out on track after a green flag stop. Let's see if Shutt can close the gap once more. He did it at least twice so far in this early run. That time by Gibson, a 147.74. Shutt was about a half second slower. As it looks like Cop Car will be one of the first drivers inside the top 3 to come down pit road starting lap 12. Chris Shieldsmith will join him on pit road, as that allows Jared Ziegler, Matt Brewer, and I believe, yes, Gareth McAllister will take over the top 5 based on pit strategy. Oh, look at that. David Shutt takes over the race lead from Gibson. Gibson falls back to second. The hard tires underneath the 24 machine may be paying off dividends. Let's see if he can build up a gap to Gibson. Gibson's been so extremely fast all season long, but Shutt, the few times he races and doesn't have big incidents, has been quite the dominant driver. A little bit further back, here comes Alex Penn making a move on Clinton Wiggins. This is the battle for 10. Penn, the bright yellow number 30, Wiggins, the green and white number 26. And Alex Penn able to make a nice, clean pass here. Well, let's go back up front. Oh, Shutt has another connection issue. There we go, get him back out on track. He is 1.2 seconds up over Paul Gibson. Let's see what the lap times are going to be. It looks like a 146.59 out of Shutt. Gibson either feeling the effects of tire fall off or maybe some sort of mistake. A 148.28 his last time by. Well, if Shutt can maintain this pace, as Gibson, Ziegler, Brewer, McAllister inside the top 5 start to drop off a little bit, he can really build up an advantage. Shutt building up a 1.6 second lead over Paul Gibson. Now look at this. Looks like Jared Ziegler, who's up into third. He's on the hard compounds. Brewer staying right there with him on the reds in the number 2. Ziegler extending that gap to about a half second. Brewer staying relatively with him, trying to pick up the draft off the rear wing at 57. Closes it, gaining 2/10 here. Oh, David Shutt, your race leader, comes down pit road. Paul Gibson follows suit. So it looks like everybody except Ziegler is going to come down pit road inside the top 5. Let's see, does McAllister stay out in the number 25? Yes, he does. So Ziegler and McAllister extending their run longer than anybody else so far, both on the hard compound tires. So Ziegler on strategy here has a 7.4 second lead over Mcallister. On track it's Ziegler, Mcallister, and looks like Nick Terrell, the lone drivers who have yet to be down pit road. So will Ziegler extend the run? Is he feeling confident here? Or are we going to see that 57 machine come down pit road this time by? Ziegler down pit road. Mcallister follows suit. An extremely long pit road here at Road America. I believe that's going to put Shutt back as your race leader as he charges up the hill. He's about 2.6. No, Nick Terrell comes down pit road. We wait for the live timing to update here. Shutt will have just shy of a 3-second advantage over Gibson. Gibson 3/4 of a second over Cop Car. On pit road is Ziegler, Mcallister, Terrell, Carrington. Now I'm interested to see how this is going to work out as well for Colin Weatherholt, the number 12 machine, who sits back and forth. He had to come down pit road on lap 4 after an early race incident. But now he is off strategy with the rest of the field. And speaking of field, here's 5th, 6th, and 7th. Ziegler, Shieldsmith, and Brewer. Shieldsmith making a big effort of it against Ziegler. Brewer goes very wide down the hill to try and set up for the uphill. Ziegler's going to fire back alongside Shieldsmith. Not the run he's looking for. Wasn't able to take the left-hander on that inside line. Ziegler in hot pursuit though, looking for any way around that number 22 machine he can possibly find. All the while, Matt Brewer trying to find an opening as well. Not wanting to throw his nose in too deep as they charge around the carousel. Well, we've got problems elsewhere. Norman King off track, avoiding any damage on number 28 machine. So let's go back to the heated battle between Ziegler and Brewer. Now Shieldsmith getting a little bit of a breakaway, about a second gained over Ziegler and Brewer. We're continuing with these side-by-side shenanigans here at Road America. 25 laps left to go. They're trying to pick up that draft from Shieldsmith. Gets it down to about 0.6 of a second. Diving into turn 1. Matt Brewer still there, about a half second off Ziegler. Your top 3 fairly stretched out. Shutt, Gibson, Cop Car. Weatherholt, Shieldsmith round out the top 5. Ziegler's found some time. He's caught up to Shieldsmith. 1/4 of a second separating these two in the battle for the top 5. Ziegler with a big move up the inside line, nowhere to put it. Brewer pushes wide, goes off track. He is out of the occasion. He has plowed the wall there. So Brewer missing the wing. He is most likely done and out of this one. Unless he can somehow limp it for just about 4 miles here at Road America. Oh, he's at the halfway mark, so 2 miles. But that's a long way to go with no front arrow. On board, Jared Ziegler's number 57 machine, up 1 spot so far from where he qualified. And apparently the onboard cameras are the place to be. Every time we do it, we see some big lunges, as we just saw Shieldsmith lock up the brakes into Canada corner. Ziegler closed the gap to right about 1/10 of a second. And I think he backed up it slightly to try and get set up for a draft move across the start-finish line. Keep an eye out. It's 2/10 as it stands. What's he going to be going into turn 1? Ziegler with a big run. Is he going to hop out to the inside line? Yes, he is. But Shieldsmith carries just a little bit more speed on that outside line and holds on to the 5th place position for now. A quarter of a second continuing to separate the top 5 drivers, or excuse me, Ziegler, who's trying to get inside the top 5. Shieldsmith holding on to it, but too late. Ziegler capitalizing on a mistake out of the 22 machine. Sends it up the inside line. We did get a pit road report. Matt Brewer was able to limp it around here at Road America, get to his pit stall. He will take a fast repair, try and get back out on track. Because every point matters here in the championship. Ziegler has extended that gap to a second over Shieldsmith. Weatherholt comes down pit road, that number 12 machine. His last pit stop was on lap 4 after that early race incident. So he will be the lone driver coming down on lap, we're going to be on 17 now. As Shutt charges along, you see Weatherholt dropping down the stands on the left side of your screen. Checking in on race leader David Shutt has a 2.6 second advantage over Gibson in second, Cop Car in third. Weatherholt gets back out on track. He'll be rejoining the surface in 11th place. Weatherholt right behind Norman King's number 28 machine. Weatherholt coming out on cold, black, hard compound tires. Quickly making a move on King. King had an early incident as well, but he's still up 4 spots in that 28. King's gonna fire back, and oh my goodness, they almost torpedoes it into Weatherholt. Came in way too deep on the brakes. If Weatherholt was looking at his mirror, didn't show too many signs of flinching. Well done to King for the big save there. As the field stretched back out, now we're focusing on Paul Gibson in second. He's got Cop Car 1.3 seconds behind him. Looks like Chris Shieldsmith not losing too much time to Ziegler in that what is now the battle for 4th after Weatherholt came down pit road. Matt Brewer also back down in the pits. We had 2 battles out on track. You're watching Ziegler and Shieldsmith. But let's pan. It looks like a battle shaping up here between Kasai and Renger. Oh, right as I say that, Kasai spins it around. Oh no, Renger gets into him. Both drivers with damage bumping back into each other, and here comes Gareth Mcallister. How did he get through that one? Let's take a look and just see what on earth just happened from Mcallister's point of view. We are on board with Gareth Mcallister's number 25 machine. He sees a smoke screen as he gets ready to charge down the hill at Road America. Looked like Kasai just lost the back end, but Mcallister has his own moment before the moment. Look at that. Mcallister nowhere to go. Takes evasive maneuvers. Looks like the front right's damaged, but the iRacing gods giveth, and sometimes they taketh away, and this time in the favor of Mcallister, getting very lucky that the machine did not absolutely blow apart there. And that's got to be the close call, hands down, of the race so far here at Road America. Back live out front, checking in on Paul Gibson. He's 2.1 seconds back from David Shutt, about 1.2 ahead of Cop Car. Now I'm interested to see, is Redinger and Kasai going to be able to limp it down pit road here? Oh, and limp is what Kasai is doing. That was Nick Terrell, who just made his way around the number 3 machine. Redinger trying to hold on to it. Oh, that machine is just barely holding on. Look at the rear wing flopping around here. Colin Weatherholt's moving back up to 9th, but I don't want to hit him with a commentator's curse, but I think Kasai as well as Redinger may be able to limp it back to pit road. Got to give Shieldsmith credit as well. He's staying right here with Ziegler over the run. John Kasai comes down pit road, the number 3 machine, able to limp his way around the long. That is a long way. 4 miles to try and bring it home and use that repair. As we continue to watch the battle shaping up between Jared Ziegler, Chris Shieldsmith, the battle for 4th. Cop Car looks like he's closing the gap to Gibson down to 9/10 of a second. Redinger also making it down pit road. Shieldsmith still holding on by about 6 to 8 tenths. It's going back and forth, but if we go back to Gibson, you can see Cop Car in hot pursuit. Let's see, though. Can Cop Car close the gap up to Gibson and see if he can interject himself in the party? As it looks like they've gained a little bit of ground on David Shutt as well. We just saw the purple and yellow, at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. So your second and third place driver, Gibson and Cop Car, slowly catching up to Shutt here. Cop Car still about 4 tenths off the back of that number 31 machine. Your points leader, Paul Gibson. 20 laps left to go, not gaining too much ground. Oh, as we got problems elsewhere on track. Norman King had a bit of a moment there, able to rejoin the surface, but we go back up as it looks like Cop Car closing the gap once more to Gibson. 1/4 of a second separating the two. Kasai leaving pit road. Now Kasai was awarded a drive-through penalty by our race control Joseph Penn. He has served his drive-through. He's ready to get back out on the circuit, try and make something happen here. Gibson and Cop Car slowly whittling away at the lead of David Shutt. Running just about 0.2 faster than your race leader, but Shutt has problems. It's going to be a tidy 3-car pack going into Carousel. Gibson in hot pursuit in second place. Cop Car lags slightly behind. He may just want to watch this show unfold before making any big lunges. Norman King down pit road for a green flag stop. Look at Cop Car extending the surface. Absolutely sending it here. Who's going to be in the Canada corner? Shutt holds on to it. Gibson stays in formation. Oh, if they're this tight coming out of the start-finish line straight, it's going to be a wild one. And we've got more problems out on track. Oh no, Colin Weatherholt. And it looks like Nick Terrell involved in an incident. Let's take a quick peek, see what happened. We're focused in on Weatherholt's number 12 machine, trying to get around Terrell, trying to make the outside line work. Terrell diving in deep the inside. Weatherholt, oh, just loops it there. Absolutely collects Terrell, who couldn't even see it coming. And I think I saw, let's check this out. I think Alex Penn had a moment here as well. Maybe seen the localized yellow, and Alex Penn pushes wide, able to collect himself though, so not as bad, but Weatherholt and Terrell are going to have a little bit of damage to try and get corrected as we go back to the heated battle up front. Back up front, things are getting dicey for the lead. Here comes Gibson looking for a way around Shutt's number 24 machine. Cop Car right there in the fray as well. Cop Car sends it up deep. He's going to take over the second place spot from Gibson. Gibson falls back to third. Shutt will live to be your race leader for a little while longer. So Gibson finds himself about 0.6 back. Cop Car in hot pursuit behind the number 24 of Shutt as they charge down the hill. Cop Car getting set up for the inside line. The number 4 throws it in deep. Shutt backs out of it to try and get a little bit better drive up the hill. But Gibson trying to stay right there to capitalize as well. That's going to put Cop Car as your race leader. Shutt with a massive blink. That's the last thing he wants while traffic's so tight. Oh, this is going to be a good one if this keeps up. 3 drivers absolutely going at it. Now, Cop Car came down pit road last on lap 11. Shutt and Gibson both down on lap 13. But now Cop Car has the clean air advantage. Nick Terrell, Colin Weatherholt, both down pit road. Top 3 drivers separated by less than a second here. Looks like Terrell has made his way after limping around the track into pit road as well. Cop Car holds on, getting the credit for the lap led. Cop Car was about a full second faster than Shutt that last time by, really using the draft to his advantage. And we got a report as well. Colin Weatherholt, the number 12 machine, will be serving a drive-through penalty after that contact with Terrell losing the back end. Poor Terrell just nowhere to go here. And a little bit further back, almost 30 seconds back, this is the battle for 4th. Jared Ziegler, Chris Shieldsmith have been inseparable over the duration of this run. And Shieldsmith staying right there with them. Both drivers trading back and forth every now and then. Ziegler still able to hold on to it. As up front, Cop Car has extended that gap to about a second over Shutt. Shutt with Gibson in very hot pursuit as number 31 machine still sitting third. Top car down pit road. I think that's going to put him short on fuel, though. He came in on lap 11 last time by. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it till the end here as Gibson stays right behind Shutt. Shield Smith also down pit road. Oh, I heard a little bit of bumping and grinding there. I'm not sure if Shutt dragged across the bumper or what that issue may have been. $16 laps left to go. The race lead separated by about a half a second. We think Shutt and Gibson can go just a couple laps longer than we saw Cop Car able to manage. When will we see these top two drivers come down pit road? Oh, Gibson tries to set up for it against your race leader, Shutt. Both drivers barely. I heard a little bit of micro lock up from both. Shutt holds onto it with a half-second advantage. But it looks like Shutt extending that gap to about 8 tenths ahead of Gibson. As it has been a wild night so far this evening. That was Clinton Wiggins coming down pit road. I think that's Peter Redinger ahead of your race in the number 44 machine. Redinger will be seeing the blue flag rather shortly. The Shutt has pulled a 1.3 second advantage over the rest of the field. And the top five starts to stretch out at Shutt, Gibson, Ziegler, Kopcar, McAllister, your top five. As there, I think I just saw Peter Redinger, yes, off track ahead of the race leader. But thankfully for Shutt and Gibson, things didn't get too exciting too quickly. And Gibson has closed the gap once more to 3/10, using the draft to his advantage. Can he make it happen before these guys have the box for what we think may be the final time? Schutt, Gibson gonna come down pit road together. Is Ziegler, who is about 30 seconds back, gonna follow the same plan? As you can see, Cop Car wanting to get back into podium contention, but he is way, way back here in that number 4. Ziegler locking up the brakes. Cop Car staying out after his lap 24 pit stop. He will take over the race lead here. How far ahead is he going to be ahead of Gibson and Schutt, who are just now rolling out of pit road? About 10.6 seconds is going to be the magic answer. Now back in second, Gibson and Schutt, who again are about 10 seconds back from Cop Car. Still separated by about a half a second. We know Schutt is on the reds. Let's see what compound Gibson may be. He's on the hard compound black tires as he sits in second. Gibson looking for an opening, not able to find it. Schutt makes the move up into second. Gibson's gonna go back on the defense here with a hard compound. This is going to give Cop Car, well, I said it was going to give an advantage. It looks like Schutt's closed the gap slightly down to 9.6 seconds. Who's gaining a little bit of ground on your race leader. But what's it going to be on fuel mileage? Gareth Mcallister down pit road, the number 25 machine. Now the $1 million question is Cop Car, who came in a lap 24, 3 laps prior to Schutt, Gibson, or Ziegler rounding out the top 4, can he make it till the end? Schutt pulling about an 8/10 gap over Paul Gibson. 12 laps left to go. Carrington coming back out on track. Schutt extending that gap a little bit further. 9/10 ahead now of Gibson. And Shutt, he's got a lot of work. He's 9 seconds behind Cop Car. I just don't know if he's going to be able to close the gap and still have enough fuel to make it till the end here. Oh, Casey Carrington with an off-track excursion, and it's going to be bad. The number 03 machine. Surely he's going to take a tow here as he's off the track surface, but I don't think he's going to make it. Yes, he takes a tow back to pit road. The 03 machine, unfortunately, going to retire from this event. Cop Car 7.7 seconds ahead of David Shutt. Let's pan back to our hard charger, Gareth Mcallister. He's up 5 spots. The number 25 machine currently 6th out on track. As we pan to the number 25 machine, the bright yellow Mcallister. He's one of those drivers we talked about earlier as well, kind of in no man's land, just having to focus on hitting his marks and seeing what he can make happen. He's about 24 seconds back from 5th place Chris Shieldsmith, about 13.6 seconds ahead of Alex Penn. But I'm curious to see how are things going to pan out for some of these drivers, especially Cop Car, your race leader. Checking back at the number 4, he's got a little bit of traffic to contend with. I think that may be Terrell in the 81 machine. Or is that the 26 of Wiggins? No? Yes, that is indeed Nick Terrell, sitting 10th overall ahead of Cop Car. At first, I thought Cop Car in no big rush to make a pass. Terrell yields the position as quick as he can, respecting the blue flag for the overall race leader, Cop Car, the number 4. Cop Car still about 6.9 seconds ahead of David Shutt. Looks like Peter Redger has come down pit road for a late race stop. And it's going to be 9 laps left to go as Cop Car charges up the hill here at Road America. Still a commanding 7-second lead over Shutt. Shutt 1.2 seconds ahead of Paul Gibson. But we've got more problems out on track. Looks like Casey Carrington briefly went off track, able to get back out there. Redger has made his way down to pit road. And check this out. Paul Gibson closing the gap to 2nd place driver David Shutt. Getting the gap down to a 2nd, gaining a 10th here, a 10th there last time by. Shutt was about 0.2 faster with a 146.19 compared to Shutt's 146.42. Both Shutt and Gibson last came in on lap 27, while race leader Cop Car came in on lap 24. I think he's going to be a little bit tight on fuel here. It's going to be interesting to see how this may be a talking point. As Gibson trying to close the gap to the purple and yellow, David Shutt. Let's see as Gibson closing the gap. A half-second back is Gibson from the 2nd place driver, Cop Car. 6.7 seconds ahead of Shutt. As we go 8 laps left to go, I think we're going to have a battle, as I believe I just saw a little bit of traffic going into 1 as well. I think that's going to be Terrell in the number 81 machine. We saw Cop Car make his way around. Now it's going to be time for Shutt and Gibson to do the same once they start to close that gap. Charging down the hill. Gibson gets it within a quarter of a second. Now Gibson's on the hard compound tire. Shutt's on the reds underneath them. And I believe Clinton Wiggins briefly off track there. Looks like, I think that's coming out of the carousel. Able to get himself collected though. No, that's not the carousel. That's before the downhill here at Road America. Turn 3, I believe it is. But we pan back to David Shutt and Paul Gibson. Still putting on a show late into this main event. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Shutt knows he can't afford a single mistake as Gibson's still charging behind. Will we see Gibson make a move going into turn 1? Shutt takes the defensive, guarding the inside line. But we've seen some spectacular outside passes made so far tonight as they go side by side. And there we go. Paul Gibson takes over the second place spot from Shutt, moving up into second. Now Gibson's going to put his head down here. He ran 1.2 seconds faster than your race leader Cop Car that last time by. Will he be able to do it again here? Shutt doing a good job staying right there with Gibson as well, not losing too much time. He's about 0.6 off. And how will lap traffic play a factor into this one? That's Terrell, the number 81 machine. Surely he knows there's a battle for second underway. Cop Car's already cut through the field here, giving a bit of a heads up to the other drivers that, hey, the race leaders are charging through. Look out. Gibson's closed the gap now to about 4.8 seconds behind race leader Cop Car. Extending his gap over Shutt by about 1.3 seconds that they've made their way through traffic. Or at least Gibson has. Shutt has not quite got around Terrell's 81 machine. Now Terrell also on the hard compound tires. It looks like late into the run. Oh, a bit of a lockup there out of the 81. It looks like the hard compound tires doing a little bit better over the run here. The reds really falling off quickly as Terrell wisely hops out of the way of the number 24 machine of Davis Shutt. But he is already 1.6 seconds back from Gibson. We see another big blink from the 24. Cop Car 4 seconds ahead of Gibson. You can just barely see Gibson coming into frame in the background. going to be interesting. 5 laps left to go. Paul Gibson's closed the gap now to 3.6 seconds and closing fast. Looks like he was 1.4 seconds faster, Paul Gibson was, than Cop Car last time by. Handing back to Gibson. He's closed the gap now to 3.5 seconds. We're 5 laps left to go at Road America. I think we may still see a battle for the lead here. Cop Car holding on to it, 3.2 seconds. Over halfway through this lap, then we're going to click it off, 4 to go. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Cop Car, as he gets ready to cross the line, 2.6 seconds ahead of Gibson. Wait for the times to update. Looks like a 147.3 for Cop Car. A 146.1 out of Gibson. 4 laps left to go. 2.5 seconds separates race leaders Nickel Cop Car from Paul Gibson. Gibson about 3.6 seconds ahead. Something's happened to Gibson. He's fallen off the pace rapidly. Looks like I thought he might have had a bobble there. No, it looks like he's maintaining. He's about 3.7 seconds ahead of Shutt, pulling the gap there, also closing the gap. As it's just about 2 seconds behind Cop Car. There you go on the right side of your screen. That's Paul Gibson. Chris Shieldsmith down pit road for a late race stop. He thinks he's going to be short on fuel with 4 to go. Cop Car able to find pace every now and then. It was down to 2 seconds, extends it back to about 2.3 over Gibson. I think if the pace continues, we may see Cop Car and Gibson start to duke it out here. Left to go, still a 2-second advantage to Paul Gibson. As Cop Car holding on to it, Gibson closes it down to 1.9 as they head through turns 1 and 2. Oh, you can see Gibson slowly closing the gap. Will he have enough time to make it happen? I think I just heard the smallest bit of lockup. .8 seconds, the advantage Cop Car currently has is worth 3 to go. Still 1.8 seconds as Cop Car blasts down the back section here. I'm not sure, is Gibson going to have enough in the both proverbial and literal tank to close Alex Pins down pit road on lap 37, his last stop of the evening. Laps left to go here at Road America. Oh, we all watch with bated breath to see if Gibson can make it happen at the Road America 160 presented by RaceMars.com. It is going to be down to the wire here. Oh, Gibson right there. He can just see Cop Car. As we go on board the number 31 machine of Paul Gibson. He's got the rabbit to chase now. It's going to help him click off those record lap times he's been looking for last time by. He's about 3/10 faster than Cop Car. But still 1.3 seconds back. He needs a bobble out of Cop Car. He needs to find some more pace somehow, some way. 1.4 seconds separating the two. Here we go. Oh no, Cop Car comes down pit road. As the white flag comes out, Gibson's going to take over the race lead here. Cop Car, he came in 3 laps prior than Gibson. Oh my goodness, Cop Car falls back to 3rd. Paul Gibson takes over the race lead. 1 lap left to go. He's got a 7.9. No! Oh, I thought Shutt came down pit road, but it was just another blink out of the number 24 machine. So Gibson's going to have an 8-second advantage. Where is Cop Car going to return to the circuit at? Will he hold on to a podium because Jared Ziegler in 4th? He came in a lap 27 as well. He should be good to go to the end. Cop Car rolls out of pit road as Ziegler charges up the start-finish line. Cop Car into turn 1. But just like that, the final stop is going to put the number 4 machine 22 seconds back from David Shutt. Paul Gibson, barring some sort of horrific misfortune, should be well set to take the lead here. Gibson makes his way around the final quarter of the track for the final time. And Gibson, thanks to a very well done strategy here tonight, will charge up the hill for the final time in Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Gibson will bring home the win here at the Road America 160, presented by RaceMars.com. David Shutt gonna take over and complete this race in 2nd. And Nick Hill Cop Car will hold on to a final podium spot to round out the top 3. Well done again. Paul Gibson bringing home the win here today. Having no problems on strategy, and he's going to burn it down for the fans in front of the spectators. Absolutely pumped here. Now last week in Mid-Ohio, he was on pole, but David Shutt picked up the win, so Gibson extremely happy with how this one ended up. So that's going to be Paul Gibson bringing home the win. David Shutt finishing 2nd. and Nick Hill Cop Car, rounding out the top 3. As always, I'm your host, James East, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much for tuning in, supporting the Racing for Children's IndyCar Series, and such a fantastic foundation. Check them out if you're interested in joining MSR, IndyCarSeries.net, and I look forward to having you at the next one. Have a great night, everybody.